Hello friends, hope you are well, and oh boy, have I got some spicy news for you today. This week I've been keeping a close eye on the Aussie news machine. You may have noticed the pop-ups from Google who are weaponizing the Aussie users against the ACCC. And look, if you'd like more details, I have linked my explainer video below. Then we have free vaccines, WA under attack by Clive Fatty Palmer. He's in fact personally going after McGowan on a defamation suit. It's absolute madness, so let's take a break and talk tech. But like I mentioned, it's still quite spicy and NBN heavy, so get ready. Today we have NBN taking on 5G, but how? NBN to pay up for slow internet, but how much? ACMA and the ACCC jump on NBN pricing. Again, NBN scam awareness on Facebook, and Health Engine did a naughty. Then on the international tidbits, that will be a bit smaller than ever. We have Facebook's redesigned UI, Fortnite being Fortnite, and major news US outlets wants what Fortnite wants. This one is packed, so we're going to get straight into it. Welcome to the Dirt Report. Remember to like and subscribe to the weekly Aussie Tech and Telco News show. Your support does mean a lot. When I read this article in the morning, I nearly lost it. In fact, I managed to spill some coffee on my keyboard too. That may have been my own carelessness, but I blame it on this story anyway. We have talked about 5G undermining the NBN sometime in the future. It's possible, and there are a few caveats with that. After all, 5G needs fiber, POI to create a network that's actually fast and needs a backbone. It's not the end all and be all, but it has an effect, right? 5G is still a threat to the NBN. In fact, Telstra have said they will get 5G to 75% of Australians by June 2021. And that is certainly not an outlandish time frame, and even though it is Telstra, NBN Co should be scared, and it is showing. Experts this week have said the right move for the NBN is to upgrade their fiber to the node customers to ding 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 fiber. And now you understand why I lost it. NBN Co is considering it, and I say considering it because in their mind there are other options, and in reality there are no other options because of what they have done thus far. Upgrading the rest of Australia to fiber connections is the only way to combat how much market share 5G could take. This is literally competition right now. Some have said in the past it was harsh saying the NBN was obsolete before it was even built. But let's be clear, it was obsolete when Telstra was running it and then they sold it to the NBN. We spent nearly 51 billion on it, and as you may remember, the Parliament Budget Office recently reported the saleable value of the NBN was only 8.7 billion. Now NBN is saying that it can upgrade the fiber to node connections to full fiber at the cost of $7 billion, close to the current valuation of the business itself. But hey, it's only 7 more, right? And add some delays, add some extra costs, I reckon they can fit it under 10 billion. This means it would be around 1,500 per household, and all I can say to that is do it. Make it happen, create some jobs, get the economy moving with this project. And I wonder if people who paid for fiber upgrades will get any rebates on this if they now are getting fiber. I don't know, we'll see what happens. I hope they decide to go ahead and upgrade it all because we have an infrastructure project that could be fantastic and maybe even future-proofed. Remember, fiber cables can stay in the ground and only the end-to-end hardware would need to be upgraded for more capacity and speed. For residential use anyway. Let me add this. Back in 2009, when the NBN was conceived and the government said every household will get 25 megabits down, and that was a dream come true. And again, that was back in 2009, so speeds were a little bit slower in general, so 25 was a crazy amount. Now 11 years later, 25 is the minimum for households, and 50 megabits should be the acceptable minimum and 100 the target. Now I hear a lot of people saying blah blah blah, who needs 100? Well, it's not about who needs it. It's about setting a target, and even if you hit below it, it'll be better than just aiming for something very low, like a minimum. You know, I don't know, aim for the stars, hit the moon or something like that. Let me know your thoughts below. Okay, next up, NBN will now pay penalties for slow internet connections and on a day-to-day basis and missed appointments. Now, you may be feeling a bit of deja vu. Well, you aren't in the Matrix. Maybe. Not sure. A little while back, the ACCC went after the NBN on this. However, it was put on hold during the pandemic because, hey, the NBN had enough to deal with, right? And the ACCC had bigger fish to fry, or at least figure out how to bail out news outlets without using government money. Stuck that one in, eh? So this week, the sleeping giant awoke and the chase was on. However, NBN didn't even run, and with no opposition accepted the ACCC's recommendations, and by December you could start seeing NBN paying up. Let's have a look at the NBN Wholesale Service Standards Inquiry document as it outlines the fines. I have linked that below, but here is a quick summary. On new connections that get delayed, NBN could pay $7.50 per working day, but capped at 30 days. On service faults, they could end up paying $15 per working day, maxing out at 60 days. Also, users on wireless connections who experience congestion that causes slow speeds will get a $20 monthly rebate, but it has to be proven persistent, e.g. not for an hour or two in the evenings when everybody jumps on. Now finally, missed appointments could cost them a minimum of $50 per missed visit, and there will be fines for the fiber to node and fiber to the curb connections that don't hit that minimum, 25 megabits down and 5 up. But I couldn't find the exact dollar amounts for that, but I'm guessing with the wording used in the document, the cost will be on a case-by-case basis, because I suppose it depends by how much. In any case, ISPs will be expected to pass the rebates straight through to you, the customer. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Next up, we have the ACCC and ACMA reopening the NBN wholesale price inquiry, and there isn't much more to say about this. We heard about it back in April, and it could have meant more affordable plans for the lower end of the scale, but instead the pandemic did what it does best and put things on hold. Here is a highlight from the media statement on the ACCC's website. Following extensive discussions with the ACCC, NBN Co has proposed measures including cheaper wholesale pricing for entry-level products to ensure an affordable product is available for consumers transitioning to the NBN. More certainly about NBN Co's pricing and products, and stronger commitment about servicing standards including rebates. These commitments are aimed at improving performance in appointment keeping, fault rectification, pricing certainty, connections, and service speeds. If the ACCC finds these measures reasonable, they would be included in NBN Co's next wholesale broadband agreement with the retail service providers, which is scheduled to commence in December 2020 and apply for 2 years. We won't know exactly how this will play out, but as we heard Telstra cry all about how they are not making enough money from the NBN, I bet they are looking forward to seeing a decrease in wholesale costs. However, the question we should be asking is if Telstra or any other RSPs would be passing the savings on. Because sometimes I feel like this is what the banks do. They refuse to pass a rate cut on, but you just wait till it goes up. They'll be billing you straight away. Let's move on. Now, on a more positive aspect of the NBN, they have been hitting some goals on the community engagement side, taking to Facebook to spin up a scam awareness seminar this week. Here is a description of one of the Facebook events run fully online on the GoToWebinar system. The internet is a wonderful place to explore, and it can help you do a lot of things easily, but there are some things you need to know so you can enjoy being online safely. Join NBN, eSafety Commissioner, Queensland Police, COTA Queensland, as they show you some simple tips to stay safe online. Things like this put a smile on my face. All in all, it's quite wholesome. Now, there are many events like this on the NBN Facebook page, so I highly suggest you either share it or watch it yourself. There is nothing bad about being more aware and educated about online scams. Now, there are some scams that certainly don't look like scams, don't act like scams, don't end up being real scams, but hurt you like only scams can. Such a great segue into how Health Engine has been sharing your information without your knowledge and making a buck. Back in 2018, during a few months, Health Engine disclosed, or rather accidentally provided, some non-medical customer information to third-party health insurance brokers. On a side note, some may call a health insurance company cancer, but you know what? They are right. Then the ACCC took Health Engine to the federal court in 2019. This week, however, explosive new information emerged. Geez, that sounded really bad. Anyway, and I think this is not going to surprise a lot of you. So it turns out that Health Engine has been doing this exact same thing, not for just a couple of months in 2018, but for 4 years, and earned over $1.8 million from it. All this without your knowledge. And now you know why you've been receiving those spam calls from insurance companies during dinner times. Yeah, probably. Now, like I mentioned, it was non-medical data, as that would be actually criminal. But nonetheless, not only did they do this without letting you know, in some shady terms and conditions, they sold it to the Satan's little bloody helpers. Health Engine has been fined $2.9 million and forced to contact affected customers. So look out for an email or a letter explaining how sorry they were for selling your information. Oh, how the crocodile tears will flow. Of course, Health Engine came out with the classic response, "Thank you for this. We are sorry and we have already fixed that issue with our systems." In a dramatic but fairly recent overhaul, it's all in the past. Nothing to worry about. But here is the topping on this crab cake. Around the time the ACCC started their court case against Health Engine, the co-founder and CEO Marcus Tay said Health Engine never has and never will sell user databases to third parties. Let that sink in. Now, let me know your thoughts below. Is 2.9 million too little? Too low? Should it be more? Should it be a billion? Let me know. Let's chat there. Okay, to finish off, let's look at some international news. Facebook's new UI, which you may not like nor care for, but it'll be the only one available from the start of September. Welcome to the future, old man. This is it. I'm sure the billions of users will get used to it. This is by far the biggest change in Facebook's history, especially the UI since adding the spammy stories and game notifications. Now, like we talked about last week, Fortnite has already retaliated against Apple with a pre-prepared parody of the 1984 Apple Big Hammer ad, you know, the one where they throw things and it crashes the screen, everybody's like, Epic Games are putting on a tournament with anti-Apple prizes such as an Alienware laptop, Galaxy Tab, OnePlus, PlayStation Pro, you get the idea, not Apple gadgets. Then, like Australia's news outlets who also want a bit of money, news companies in the US are also wanting a new deal from Apple's App Store. The 30% cut just no longer cuts it, in which it's meant to be the same for everyone, bar Netflix and Amazon, who get 15%. But Apple says it's for everyone and there are no exceptions, bar Netflix and Amazon, who get 15%. Well, US news outlets want that same 15% deal too. And on that bombshell, we have to end this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and I hope to see you all again next week. Thank you very much for your support. Remember, if you like this video, then tap that like button. And if you would like to see more, then please consider subscribing to the channel and supporting Aussie YouTube content. Thanks for watching, and bye!